We've calculated Brooke's consuming a colossal 3,900 calories a day, nearly double the recommended intake for women. Cheese-free Marie, on the other hand, is having half the amount of calories needed, only munching a measly 1,000 a day. Poles apart, it's time Supersize and Superskinny swap diets. First meal of the swap, breakfast. And Brooke's fruit pot plus calorie-laden cheese and mayo sandwich versus Marie's nothing.
Would not eating breakfast be a normal thing for you?
I would always endeavour to have breakfast, but sometimes if I'm running a bit late, I'll just rush off and leave it.
So what do you think of the fruit salad?
I'm a bit of a snob, I suppose, thinking I would have fresh fruit.
Yeah.
Not meeting Marie's high standards, will the mayonnaise-covered fat cheese sandwich fare any better?
I mean, would you always go for white bread? Because I tend to avoid white bread like the plague.
OK.
If someone had made it from scratch, it would be different, but you just know that when they're processed like this, there's just so many chemicals and things in, so I would tend not to.
Stay away from it.
Yeah. I've had about as much as I really would want for now, thank you.
Do you want to try and have a bit more?
I think I'll stop there, thank you.
OK.
Marie doesn't even manage half of Brooke's big breakfast butty, but swapping with the champion cheese chomper means more for lunch.
More white bread, oh, and cheese again. We had cheese earlier today.
Yeah.
So it's a titanic 10-inch cheese and ham baguette versus half a banana with buckwheat flake porridge and rice milk, which of course comes with Marie's superfood guide to gruel.
The rice milk is quite sweet, so in actual fact there's no artificial sweetener in it, so I suppose in terms of calories that's quite good. And obviously it is tasty as well. Brooke had some buckwheat flake porridge cooked with rice milk, which I think she quite enjoyed.
It kind of felt like I was eating baby food. I wouldn't want to be eating that more than once, ever. How are you finding the lunch?
I wouldn't choose to have cheese follow on so early from another cheese meal. And I wouldn't go for white bread again. Well, I mean, I wouldn't go for white bread full stop. I've pretty much heading off, really.
It's just kind of shown me, like, seeing you eating what I would usually eat, how big it actually is. It's just massive.
On a balanced diet, cheese, particularly Parmesan, is a good source of calcium. But Brooke's eating way more cheese than she should be. And Dr. Christian's decided to show Brooke what her unhealthy obsession could be doing to her.
Cheese. You eat quite a lot of it. In fact, 1.72 kilos of cheese a month. That's the equivalent of about 9 supermarket blocks of cheese a month, which is really quite impressive. Yeah. And I thought I would deconstruct cheese for you. So our first main ingredient is full-fat milk. In fact, 20 litres of full-fat milk go into your monthly cheese intake.
It's quite a lot, isn't it?
Surprisingly amount. And just to add to the fat content, we have got 4 litres of full-fat cream.
Full-fat milk and cream is high in saturated fat, and Brooke's getting bucket loads.
You hadn't really thought about cheese in this way before, had you?
No.
Next thing is we add 2 cupfuls of live, unpasteurised buttermilk.
The average woman should eat no more than 20 grams of saturated fat a day. But Brooke consumes 2.5 times that, with a third coming just from cheese.
In a year, total saturated fat that you're eating just from cheese, I've represented here.
Oh, that's horrible.
In 21 blocks of lard.
That's vile.
If Brooke's cheese chomping didn't give her nightmares before, it may do after this.
That's not all. Into this cheese, we add some stuff called rennet.
Rennet comes from the 4th stomach of plant-eating animals such as cows, goats and sheep. It congeals the milk, forming curds and whey, essential to cheese making.
The other thing is we add 10 teaspoons
10?
Of salt. That's 40 grams of salt goes in there.
That's incredible.
Too much salt causes high blood pressure, And with Brooke eating too much cheese, she's consuming double the salt she should be. Teamed with her saturated fat overload, medical student Brooke's heading for heart failure.
That's a healthy heart. You've got a great big vessel running down there.
Yeah.
That's the thing that tends to get blocked up when people have heart attacks, OK? Which is what's happened here. And you can see very obviously the dark patch of dead tissue that will never recover, it will never repair.
Yeah.
The main culprit for all of this tends to be cholesterol, and that is put up by the saturated fat. So
Yeah.
if you do start to get raised cholesterol, it's almost certainly
Yeah.
due to this, and therefore you know what to do about it.
It was bad seeing how much saturated fat I'm taking in, and it's just disgusting to think about.
Coming up, when Superskinny spurns Supersize's food,
I don't like the look of this at all, really.
the gloves come off,
If I was in your position, I'd think I would try a little harder.
and how recovery is possible when you have an eating disorder.
Just try and accept food for what it is. It's just fuel for your body. It's not trying to poison you.
Tonight in the feeding clinic, cheeseaholic Brooke Gamble versus whole food advocate Marie Sheratt. Poles apart, Dr. Christians asked the extreme eaters to swap diets to shock them into realising how bad their food habits are. It's day 2.
Good morning, Brooke.
Morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Oh, yes, all right. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you.
For breakfast, it's Marie's half a banana and homemade muesli versus Brooke's 2 slices of thick buttered white toast with beef extract.
I'm a bit dismayed by yet more white bread. I really don't like the sound of the beef extract, and I don't like the look of this at all, really.
I quite like it, so obviously I would have it quite a lot, but I suppose we should just try and have a go. What do you think?
I'm not mad keen.
No?
I'm yearning some fruit, some fresh fruit,
Right.
or something wholesome.
I'm finding this quite hard to stomach.
But Brooke ploughs through.
I don't like this.
You've not eaten half of it.
It just doesn't seem to make sense to me to eat something that you know is not really healthy, that you don't like.
I think if I was in your position, I'd think I would try a little harder.
So far, despite signing up for the swap, superfood supporter Marie's refused to finish any of Brooke's food. Will she polish off lunch? She's swapping her quinoa, half an avocado, cress and yoghurt for Brooke's cucumber and, you guessed it, chunky cheese sandwich.
Bit dismayed by cheese, but nevertheless it's redeemed slightly by being wholemeal bread.
Yeah.
And there was cucumber in there somewhere,
is, yeah.
so that sounds good too.
A positive start, but as usual, Marie finds a problem.
There's too much in one sitting here, you don't need that much.
Seems not even the brown bread and cucumber can convince Marie to clear her plate.
I really wouldn't want any more.
But Brooke's had enough of her opponent's lack of effort.
Obviously, this is a swap, and you're under-eating, but I'm sticking with your portion, not having more. So maybe you should stick with my portion.
I don't think it's the name of the game, so I don't think it would make sense to eat much more of that.
It's diet swap's stalemate. Post-lunch, Marie and Brooke take a trip down memory lane. Will photos help pinpoint where their problems with food began?
This one is obviously me as a young baby, but weight-wise,
You look completely normal.
completely normal. And the next one, I'm at school, about 6, I would imagine. I'll have words with my mother about that haircut, but normal size, I would
Yeah,
say.
again, normal.
Whereas with this one, I'm looking much thinner.
It was the years between childhood and adulthood that kicked off Marie's malnutrition.
Some of my feelings about food, I think, arose when I had a few difficulties at school, and I started reading about fasting, and I was intrigued and very interested in this phenomena.
So intrigued, Marie starved herself of food and drink every Tuesday for a whole year. and it had a devastating effect on her weight. At 16 years old, she was just 6.5 stone.
I did eventually stop, but I think thereafter I did think much more about what I was eating.
How old were you there?
I would say I was about 20.
Right.
It's a little bit beyond the time when I was fasting.
Yeah, you look quite thin, don't you? I mean, you can see the tops of your ribs and things.
I don't think I felt that at the time, but certainly I do think it now.
Yeah.
Just like Marie, Brooke started life a normal weight.
That's adorable, isn't it? You look so cute.
But it wasn't long before her weight problems began.
I think I was about 4 there. Already you can start to see that my legs are quite chubby.
Yeah.
And then this one here, this is when I was in Australia, in Sydney. But again, here you can see my arms are quite big. This skirt here was a size 22, I remember. And this is when I'm 14.
Right.
So with my case, it's just that I ate too much as a child, and I still am now.
And you're still really young now, so if you sort of nip it in the bud now,
definitely.
that'll be sorted, won't it?
Looking back has helped both Brooke and Marie look forward. But when you live with an eating disorder, looking forward to a healthy future can feel unfeasible. And over the past 7 weeks, 6 sufferers have shared their very personal experiences. From anorexia...
There are times when I look in the mirror and all I see is flab and rolls.